Hi, my name is Joseph Parker, WBO champion of the world, and you're watching Sporting Icons.
Okay, so Andy Ruiz Jr. versus King Kong Luis Ortiz. This was a WBC eliminator. The winner will go on to fight the winner of Wilder and Hellenius. Now, I said before the fight, this fight will go depending on what mindset Andy Ruiz Jr. has coming into this fight. Lo and behold, that's pretty much what happened. I think most people can agree. Now, round number one, that's just the usual feel-out kind of round. That's just standard procedure, right? Tap a little bit, maybe throw a right hand or a backhand. Obviously, Luis Ortiz is a southpaw. Now, I think it's round number two. Maybe three. No, I'm pretty sure it's round number two. It was where Luis Ortiz gets dropped twice. And the reason that he gets dropped is because Andy Ruiz Jr. puts it on him and starts throwing punches in bunches. Now, to be fair, Luis Ortiz was trying to trade back, and it got quite interesting. I'm thinking, okay, this is the fight that I wanted to see. Now, as I said, Luis Ortiz, he gets dropped twice. Now, there is an argument to be had that the second knockdown was not actually a knockdown. It was more of a slip. There's an argument to be had with that one, okay? Go watch it back yourself. You decide. But in the next round, I'm thinking, well, Luis Ortiz looked absolutely spent. He was breathing heavy. He was trying to hang on. He didn't look comfortable. All Ruiz had to do was jump on him, throw a couple more punches, and he's probably going to get him. Nice early night. What can you do? But for some reason, Andy Ruiz Jr., for great chunks of this fight, kept taking rounds off. And I can't think for why. I had no idea why. I'm getting frustrated with him, thinking, he's there for the taking. Every time you come forward and throw punches and bunches that Andy Ruiz Jr. is famous for, with those light and fast hands, punches get through, Luis Ortiz can't take them and goes down. But he's not doing it. On a couple of those rounds, Andy Ruiz Jr. would throw, one punch, maybe two? He would just circle him, pouring with a jab. And Luis Ortiz is winning these rounds because he's just throwing the jab. Not all of them are getting through, but they don't need to. Just even if the odd one or two get through, because nothing's coming back. And I have no idea why Andy Ruiz Jr. was doing that. Was the game plan to take Ruiz into the deep rounds and then jump on him? I mean, that's a dangerous game plan because you still need to win the rounds. And as the fight's getting on, I'm thinking this fight is a little bit closer than what it should be. Now, I think it's round number 8 that Andy Ruiz Jr., he drops Luis Ortiz again. So at 3 times, Luis Ortiz is being down. Again, he didn't look good. He was trying to hang on. He looked uncomfortable. His legs looked shot. And again, it's like all Ruiz had to do was just keep on putting on that pressure and he'd have probably stopped him. Now, he was throwing some good punches to the body, which is great, and you should certainly do that, but not enough was going up top, because when Ruiz would land up top, that's when Luis Ortiz would go down. And the following round, I think it's round number 9, there's an argument to be had that Andy Ruiz Jr. got dropped. There's an argument to be had. Now, the referee ruled it a slip or something like that. But if you look at the replay, there's an argument to be had that Ruiz was actually knocked down. And as this fight's going on towards the end there, it's like a couple of rounds to go. And I'm thinking, so officially, Luis Ortiz has been dropped 3 times. This fight is close. Now, I wasn't scoring the fight, but it looked and felt like Andy Ruiz Jr. may actually be letting this fight get away, or at least make it closer than what it needs to be. And I do feel that the final 2 rounds in round number 11, round number 12, is what won it for Andy Ruiz Jr., because that's when he got busy. That's when he actually decided to do something. Put it on Ortiz, and Ortiz didn't look comfortable. He looked very uncomfortable. He looked like he was going to go down, but he was doing his damnedest to not go down. He kept grabbing hold and all that kind of stuff. I mean, again, there's an argument to be had that maybe the referee should have taken a point away from Ortiz, or at least given him a warning or something, which I think he'd actually given a warning, to be fair, for like elbowing him in the throat. But anyway, I think those last 2 rounds with Andy Ruiz Jr. just being that little bit more busy is what won him this fight. And the scorecards were pretty close, or at least one of them was, and it shouldn't have been. When you're dropping somebody 3 times in a fight, you should be quite comfortably winning that fight when it goes a distance, because you should be picking up some rounds. But Andy Ruiz Jr. was not picking up many rounds. He was just giving them away for some reason. So it was a very uninteresting fight, other than the knockdowns and the last 2 rounds. very, very uneventful fight, unfortunately. It really is. But either way, Andy Ruiz Jr., he gets the win, so congratulations to him. He got the win, which me and most other people predicted, of course, but not in the way that we thought he was going to do it. I mean, was he holding something back because he didn't want potentially his next opponent, Wilder, to pick up too much of his game plans and kind of see what it's about? Maybe he's holding back a little bit. I don't know what it was, but either way, congratulations to Andy Ruiz Jr. He defeats King Kong Luis Ortiz. What's going to happen with Ortiz next? Lord only knows. I mean, I would imagine he's probably going to retire, because the only reason that fight was close is because Andy Ruiz Jr. allowed it to be close. But anyway, listen, that's my thoughts. You drop me yours, click thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll catch you all on the next video.